on one or the other.
And none of your people have started their shows with their actual costumes either.
No.
And none of them have the costume that we know. Although I'm waiting for them to make fun of it.
Now, Luke Cage did have the costume for like 5 seconds.
Well, they all had the costume. Okay. They all made fun of their original costumes.
I know.
So I'm waiting for them to make fun of Danny's because I want to see.
That tattoo is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous.
So
the first time I saw it on the show,
really a tattoo.
I was like, no, it's not really a tattoo. It's like,
but it's still ridiculous. Yeah. And that was one of the things you always worry about things like the costume.
They should have like
burned that they're supposed to do. Like I have problems with Firestorm a lot. Although this episode, when they were doing the reverse Firestorm, that actually looked really good. The negative Firestorm looked really good. I've always had problems with them. So you always have problems with costuming. Like Luke Cage costume, what they do is they show you why his costume from the 70s don't work.
Yeah, but
when they showed it did not work.
But they learned that joke from Wolverine.
True.
They learned that joke from every time Wolverine avoided his costume.
That's
and every single, yeah. I mean, that's a. Like,
I heard the next Wolverine might actually have it. Yeah, that's what I heard. Anyway, go ahead, man.
But again, back to Iron Fist is what people are seeing. They're seeing slow. They're saying that the action isn't quite there. But the problem is that they're looking at it all from a rose-colored lens. And the thing is that we're not. It's obvious from what I've seen. Since I'm only about 7-8 episodes in now. That
you are so jonesy to go watch it, aren't you?
Yeah.
we're in the same spot.
Is that we aren't getting the Iron Fist story completely out of the season. We're not. They're literally just introducing this character so he could be a part of the Defenders. We are not getting the full Danny Rand Iron Fist story, and we aren't going to get it.
And actually, Marvel doesn't release it ever like you want it, except maybe in his. Actually, no. Oh no, in his first original book, maybe. But
can I ask you a question? I want to ask Brandon a question because I actually just realized why I'm down on Iron Fist, but I didn't realize this. 7 episodes into Arrow, because this is another version of Arrow. 7 episodes into Arrow, where were we at? You know, at the time when it came out. Same place. Yeah. Exactly the same thing. So it's like, I really feel like I've already
gone through. We established him as the Hood. We established him as, actually,
he didn't have a costume. He didn't have, you know.
Slow. It was hard to get off the ground.
Some of the changes they made,
is rich white guys don't sell.
Oh God! My wife calls him Goldilocks. She hates the character. She hates it.
He looks exactly like Daniel Rand. I thought it was a great cast.
If it could, because I mean, one of the things Luke Cage right out the bat started that darker kind of, you know.
Yeah.
This is the Hood. This is you're getting a whole separate feel with Danny.
Yeah, but you had a launching point for Luke Cage.
Yeah,
because you came from Jessica.
It's so sterile most of the time when we're doing the Danny scenes, especially after he finally gets into being, hey, I'm actually Danny and I'm not some crazy guy. It becomes so much more sterile, and they need to go back to, hey, I'm Danny, my parents died, and all this other stuff.
Oh, that's a new concept.
It weirded me out that they have the lawyer in there. I'm like, why is she?
They had to tie it all in.
I mean, that one made. I mean, her doing a good guy thing too. I mean, she was still kind of a bitch, but
yeah. Well, no, she was definitely a bitch in it. But
and I almost didn't recognize her. I was like, wait a minute, why would she be there?
It is definitely not the strongest of the Netflix Marvel.
I still think Jessica Jones was.
If you compare it, if you compare them all to, it's still a strong show. And it still has a great thing, and they've set.
Do you think the Defenders is going to be great?
Yes. Oh yeah, I can't imagine it not being good.
I think it's weird that not, because my Defenders actually had Doctor Strange, the Hulk, the Black Knight, and who was the fourth person? I don't remember. But they'll never do that because
we've separated TV. And
we're going to get a flying horse.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know somebody, let me know.
But I think that Marvel's still on track. I don't think it's floundered with Iron Fist here. I think everybody's, because if you think of the first season of Daredevil too, it had pacing issues.
Yes,
as well.
Actually, the first season of Daredevil had major pacing issues.
It's you haven't seen it yet, but I was telling you earlier about the actual competition that he was in.
Yeah.
The fight scene in there, I think they did very well because they actually themed the fight in each of the tiers that he had to go through. So it was they did it so much better with the fight scenes than it's just not. We're used to Luke Cage just hitting the crap out of people. We're used to Jessica Jones and her more kind of
Very cool way of dealing with it.
Danny is very methodic. It's a very sterile fight style. It's very specific and it's very intentional what he does and everything he does. And that's where we're losing out on. Is he doesn't make the same. I mean, Daredevil makes more mistakes when he's fighting people than Danny does.
Right.
And so we need to see more of Danny failing at the same time. But again, Iron
Fist doesn't actually fail. He's only lost to like 4 fights total.
Yeah.
So, folks, we are here. This connection. We are here in Ozark with Arkvindicta, having a great time talking about nerd stuff. Brandon, I got the weirdest thing in my email that I got to tell you. I knew about this thing, but because it was from Nintendo, I didn't. The Nintendo Switch has doubled in production in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Because is this thing a thing? Is this the next thing?
The problem, the first thing you gotta know with Nintendo is the very first thing they do is they essentially
As the college kids get heads about to explode.
They intentionally undersell their launches. They make sure that there's a scarcity in the market when they launch. They guarantee it's been like that since the N64. So it is a constant consistent thing. So them doubling production is really just more, hey, we're actually meeting the actual demand we want. It's going to peter out here. Nintendo still not going to be the strong front runner in the console war. They never are going to be. They don't want to be anymore. They've really realized that this is where, if they can go off and be this peripheral, this kind of handheld thing, they've realized that this is where
it's actually kind of cool. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, they're excellent at handheld devices.
Yeah, they've always been, and also, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it PlayStation that was talking about a console that was kind of similar? They had a patent for a console that was quite similar to it. But who knows if it's actually going to come off the ground?
Well, at this point, I mean, the biggest problem has always been the battery issue. And I think Nintendo's worked it to where, you can get 8 to 10 hours of playtime on the handheld itself. Yeah. Which, that's golden.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and this because it's Nintendo and we know how Wii and the Wii U both done. Doesn't this come up really short as far as funability?
They haven't been unsuccessful.
Yes, I do that.
The problem is they're compared to Xbox and PlayStation, where they just always skyrocket because they are the gaming machines. They are. If you want to play, Call of Duty, you want to play anything like that. The major games that sell, the big blockbuster games, sell on the PlayStation and Xbox. Nintendo doesn't have that thing. They've got a more diehard fan base. If they would start focusing more on their single, their console exclusive properties, then
which annoys them. Not a lot of me, but yeah.
That's the direction Nintendo needs to go. Nintendo just needs to pull themselves away. They don't even consider themselves a console anymore. If anybody, because Xbox tried to do that whole entertainment package thing, that blew up so specifically, and so spectacularly in their face that they dropped all the extra connectability stuff. Nintendo went that way, though. Nintendo is an entertainment console. It is the original entertainment system.
It's the house that Mario built.
That's the only reason why they sold the NES was because they marketed it as an entertainment system rather than a gaming system. Because if they marketed it as a gaming system, they would have sold nothing. Because that was taboo if you would have called anything.
You and I didn't get a chance to talk about this at VisionCon or any time up when it was released, and it's something we should have talked about because we both actually like this game. I'm better at it than you because I'm Hawk, but. Are you looking forward to the Injustice 2?
Oh yeah.
Any predictions as to what you? I haven't done any research because I want to actually open that game and be surprised at everything I see. But any predictions as to what we're gonna see? Any surprises?
I think we're gonna have another strong story mode that came out of it. I think even the comic series that came out of the first Injustice game was one of the better DC spin-off comics that we've had recently. But I think that we're gonna have a great strong storyline. We're gonna add in a whole bunch of new characters.
Anybody want to see?
I might get to see Power Girl. So
anybody? Because Injustice was what I saw from Injustice was it was not only was it cool to see a physical, almost a 3D representation, like seeing the Black Adam that I feel like we should see, not the Black Adam we're gonna get. The Black Adam that I feel like we should see. That I thought was very cool. Lobo, I see Lobo in one variation of Injustice. So anybody hoping to see?
I have tons that I want to see. I mean, I remember playing the first Injustice, and I saw Cyborg, Raven. I want to see Starfire in there too. I want to see the original Teen Titans there.
That'd be
fantastic. Cool. And also Beast Boy. I would love to see that. How they're going to do it?
no. Well, I guess they could. I mean, if they can do Batman, they can do Beast Boys. Yeah.
The movie we were talking earlier.
Vixen.
Yes.
Static Shock.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, he's in the first one. He's in the first one.
Really?
Yeah. No,
You see one of the DLC?
I think it was DLC. If
Yeah,
that's the case.
yeah, he's in one. Because
Okay,
I played him on my phone, so I know he's in one
Miss
variation.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes. Please,
Anybody
Miss
else?
Marvel.
Anybody else?
I love more of the female villain characters, so like Poison Ivy, because she wasn't in the first one, I don't think.
No.
I don't know.
No,
She
wasn't.
would. I guess, like I said, if they can do Harley Quinn, and they can do. I mean, they can probably do her.
Because
They can do Mr. Freeze. They can do her. They can do
Santana, was that the other one of the other female villains?
Katana.
Yeah.
Katana was in the first one.
Yes. Yeah, because they did her and they did Harley Quinn.
Technically,
And-
Katana
and
was
Killer
never a
Frost?
villain. She was more of a. They did have Killer Frost.
Yeah, those
Killer
were
Frost
like
was
the three
good.
they did. So I think they could expand
Actually,
on that more.
of all the Killer Frosts I've seen, I like their Killer Frost better than any other Killer Frost I've ever seen. So Justice did a really good
I
job.
like Daniel Bryan better.
Would you guys like to see a joke character in there, like one of those just like for funs characters?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
It was
You'd always want to play as that.
Yeah, but
I
which
have
one?
heard
That's the
so
question.
many times that people would love to see Batmite in this game.
Alfred.
Alfred. Yes, he's like Superman.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Alfred from Gotham would be amazing to have in the game.
I want Alfred in the game. That's
Please.
What about you? What about you? Who would you like to see? From DC, from the world of DC. I know you know somebody in DC, so say name.
Well, I would want to pull off what she said with Poison Ivy, and maybe not focus so much on the way a lot of the characters have been going for the females, but really build up on just a female villain who is there for being a villain. I wish we could pull in a female villain.
Her power move, Poison Ivy's power move, is probably one of the most epic power moves out of all. She brings in a huge giant plant.
Yeah.
And then, and it's more about her just just destroying somebody other than
Because the roulette we got on and I can't remember how to say this, but the roulette we got on Supergirl, she kind of looks kind of badass. I mean, the show's awful. She's a great black.
Yeah.
She's great black. Sorry, the
show's not awful.
It has story problems.
I need to look up the word awful then, because that's what I see every time I
I'd watch Supergirl before I'd watch Arrow.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because Supergirl's cuter than her. No other reason.
I just think that.
Although Felicity's hot, but still. No, I think Supergirl actually's got, I can't even say, it's gotten better since it's got on CW, but there were times where and then just some of the weird stuff that they're doing. Although I have said I love the fact we're going to have a Guardian, and then they showed the costume, and now I retract my previous statement. Anybody else? Well, you've been awfully quiet. I know you know about
All I'm thinking about is I want to see, like, and for as far as video games goes, I want to see the Max brought into a video game world. I'm ready for that, like that 2D life again. I mean, I really am. I know that's maybe a little bit retro, but I just love that storyline, and I don't know why it's just completely disappeared from the world. You know, I saw a cosplayer dressed up as an Max, and just reminded me how much I really enjoyed that Sin City before Sin City. You know.
Folks, you've been listening to Fanatics and Fan. We are out here in Ozark having a great time talking about video games and movies, and no one's mentioned Beauty and the Beast. Yay!
You're welcome.
It was an excellent movie.
Actually, we really can't go a show without talking about the mouse. So let's talk about the mouse and what a great idea it was to make this. The mouse.
What is it? We're at 170?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just one of the best openings, I feel like.
Jungle Book 2.
Better. It's done better.
But I mean, they took the success of Jungle Book and they said, okay, we can do this in a way that all of the people that saw this originally will still fall in love with it.
Yes.
You know,
Well, did they do Pete's Dragon? Were they
Pete's
also
Dragon was, compared to the other two, the Pete's Dragon was
yeah,
steak.
and then they also did like BFG. I think they were behind that, and
That was
you
a great.
didn't really hear
That was
anything.
a great idea.
It was a great idea, but you didn't hear anything about opening weekend or how well it did. You didn't really hear anything. There was
You would have thought
hype,
at least
and
the
then
books would have done it.
Yeah.
Done better.
Well, the books did fantastic. Sold tons of them, but the bad part is, after the books, I didn't hear anything about the movie at all. No one came up to me and told me anything about the movie, and I was surprised.
Ever since Avatar
Yeah.
was the greatest movie